Welcome to Describing the Skybox, the podcast that's like a book club for people who don't think that books reward them enough for being good at them. I'm Chad Rutherland.
And I'm Andy Kinnick.
And today, we're going to be talking about Everhood, a game that was developed by Chris Nordgren and Jordi Roca, published by Foreign Gnomes and Surefire Games, and released in 2021 on Windows, Switch, PS4, PS5, Xbox One, and the fucking Xbox Series X and S.
Yeah, and that wasn't a typo. I think it's supposed to be Surefire Games, but I don't know
interesting.
If that's the case or not. But first, if you give us a like or a rating, it would be greatly appreciated. Chad, can you describe Everhood?
Kind of. I feel like the fact that we've changed that intro has made me take it as an opportunity to, like, make the laziest dumb jokes every time, and I gotta knock that off.
Yeah.
Everhood is a rhythm game. It is an indie adventure game as well. And I hate to, like, split hairs within literally seconds of the podcast starting. But I also feel like I interpreted it for the first, like, half of the game more as, like, a bullet hell than I did a rhythm game. And I feel like is more kind of an accurate description of the gameplay.
Yeah. I can't say I ever really thought of it as a rhythm game. I think I don't think it's hair splitting. Like one of my notes is, like, the way I would describe it is like something like I think we talked about this on, like, Sayonara Wild Hearts or even Audio Surf. Like, it's the mechanic revolves around music. Like, they shoot the little squares at you to the beat of a song, but like your interaction, you don't have to follow the beat whatsoever. So I think that just you don't have to execute something to a rhythm like a rhythm game. So yeah, it's like inverse Audio Surf or like inverse Beat Saber, where you're supposed to dodge the things coming at you rather than hit them. So yeah, I feel like there were, like, very few scenarios where being, like, getting into, like, the beats would help me. Most of the time, you're just frantically moving around.
You're not wrong. I think about it sort of in the way that, like, because it's rhythmic in the sense that the enemies, like you've already said, like, are in rhythm. It only translates into you participating in a rhythm game style of engagement when the songs become more difficult, I think, because then you are actually, like, you are dodging things that are coming toward you on the beat, as long as, like, because they're sending it on the beat, and as long as there's enough of them, you will then have kind of like a delayed version up until the song changes. Basically, though, you're right, and it wasn't really helpful to think of it that way. But it was what I was really hoping for it to be.
Right.
Because I love rhythm games. I will say I like the rhythm games where you catch stuff rather than the rhythm games where you dodge stuff. But that is hair splitting, and we can skip that part. So yeah, I think maybe looking at this as like a bullet hell is more accurate to, like, how the game actually plays. And I wonder how much of it for me was that this game felt so difficult at the beginning because I was thinking of it as a rhythm game.
Yeah, that is something I was curious about. Because I know you were, like, really good at Guitar Hero and Rock Band. Much more so than me. And yeah, I found the beginning of this game to be, like, off-puttingly difficult. Like, the fight with, I think his name is Zig, in the nightclub, feels still to me like it was the hardest fight in the game, and it's, like, the second one you do. Because, yeah, like, it just feels like such a jump up in complexity from the tutorial fight that it just felt like the hardest thing in the game because I just wasn't like acclimated to the difficulty yet.
Yeah.
Like, yeah, the difficulty curve spiked to like a wall almost there. For me.
Yeah, no, it's weird because I had a similar experience in terms of I thought that the early game felt really hard, and it was like a matter of me sort of like figuring out how to play the game.
Mm-hmm.
It felt natural to me. I also was playing the game on hard difficulty, which is what the game sort of suggests that you do. Not suggests it more. It does the thing where it's like, this is good. This is how we intend it to be played. And then it seats the lower difficulties in sort of this like compromises, you know? You
Right.
get your health back a little bit faster, you little baby, kind of a thing. So I played it on hard, and I didn't. At no point did I feel like I would never beat it or anything. But I lost on the tutorial fight. Like I died on it, and then I died on the fight with the bouncer, and I died on the fight with the ATM machine. And then I think I did die on Zig, but only once, and it was after the checkpoint. Like, I thought he was easier than the ATM fight was. Because I think that I had like clicked with it more.
Yeah, I think I died to Zig like 30 times.
That's a lot of time.
Yeah, like I turned the difficulty down to easy to beat him, and then kept it on easy for like half the game before I turned it back up to normal.
Yeah, this is part of me. This is why I think that there is some rhythm game element to this that is acting on a subconscious level.
Yeah, I think for me, it's like a kind of like a it might be that you were a drummer or are a drummer or whatever, and like because it feels like it's hitting a part of my brain where it's like you can dodge back and forth, and you can jump, and there's like utilizing both is like the best way to tackle a lot of things. And like I would get very one track where like I only want to move back and forth, or I only want to jump. And like, yeah, it's the learning to pat your head and rub your tummy at the same time is what, like, when that finally clicks is like when the game becomes much easier. At least that's how I would describe it. And yeah, I imagine, yeah, you would be much better at that as somebody who played the drums.
It is definitely true that there is sort of like you have to learn like certain strategies near the end of the game. Spoilers. It's not that big of a spoiler. But near the end of the game, you get the ability to like catch and reflect projectiles. And it's, to me, that felt like almost like a more natural way of playing the game. But because I had been playing it in the original way so long that it took me even more time to like acclimate to that, to doing the thing that felt more natural, still like broke me in the same way that like getting used to the fact that it wasn't really a rhythm game broke me at the beginning. So I had another spat of bad losses at the like 75% point through the game where I had to like relearn what I was doing in order to like get through it. But I think I can safely say at this point that like I feel pretty comfortable with this game. Probably not anymore because I finished it like a week ago. But like during the couple of times that I played the game, I got to the point where I was like feeling pretty confident about it. And that is to say, keeping all of what we just said in mind, I do kind of hate the mechanics of this game. I played it on hard. I got the pacifist ending, which is supposedly the hardest boss in the game. And I did all of the optional bosses except one, I think, that I just didn't find. I was commenting before we started recording that I meant to go back and get one more ending. That's the ending that I didn't get. I also didn't do the ending where you walk down a hallway for 3 hours, but who would ever do that? I don't know.
I thought about doing it, like just like doing the classic, just tape the D-pad down and then just leave it.
Yeah, I could have done that, I guess. I didn't think about it.
I didn't. So, like, I didn't do it, but I thought about it.
Most people who did it probably did that.
Yeah, I like wandered down that hallway, I think, for like 35 rooms before I Googled like how long is this hallway. And it's like, yeah, something like 800 and something. Yeah, it'll take 3 to 4 hours to get to the end.
Jesus, that's so long. But yeah, so I do feel like I accomplished most of what this game was going to throw at me on the hard difficulty. I know that they are like 2 higher difficulties. Don't at me. I'm not trying to act like I'm the best in the world at the game. I just found it like very unintuitive and just like it felt the expert dodge technique of doing a jump roll where you press them both like nearly at the same time, but like it's a little bit staggered so that you have like the extra time on the jump where you're invulnerable is, in my experience, like not that consistent. And also, sight reading in this game on difficult songs is basically impossible, where it's like a million things are going to come at you and you have no real way of predicting it, even if you understand like the rhythm and the general cadence of the song. It just felt like, well, and also I hate the fact that there's like so many different note styles. Like there's like 50 different things that you have to keep in mind, where it's like, oh, this one has a wall on it so you can't jump over it, and like these ones are really long and you have to jump over them, and then these ones, there's like 50 of them, you can't, but they're like darker so you can't grab them with your hands. Like it just felt like there was so much going on, and it felt like the difficulty was just playing on your inability to process everything that was happening. Like you had to just like memorize things in order to get them down. And that led to certain enemies having what I would call the Metallica 1 syndrome. If you're a Guitar Hero player, the song One by Metallica is potentially notorious for you for being really easy for like 4 minutes and then ending with this like 2-minute long insane guitar solo that will just kill you. And then you, in order to play that again, you have to play the full 3 minutes before it to get to it. And I felt that in this on several occasions where I'd be like, oh, I do the easy part for 3 minutes, and then suddenly it goes ape shit at the end, and then I have to restart at the end of that because I died.
Yeah. I definitely sympathize and agree largely. Like I turned the difficulty down to easy because the game seemed like annoyingly difficult. But like I feel like the like low budget indie nature of it, like it feels very experimental, so I feel like I'm willing to cut it a lot of slack. I don't know, like I guess because I played on like lower difficulties, like I didn't struggle much with the later game songs, which means I should have turned the difficulty all the way back up to hard, but just never did, because I was I don't know, stubborn about it.
Or maybe just up to medium. I don't know.
Yeah. But I don't know. I guess it doesn't really bother me that much. Just because of like the lo-fi kind of scrappy nature of the game.
That's true. And I do want to emphasize, like, there are basically 2 major problems that I have with this game. That's barely even true. I have one major problem, the one I just described. I feel like the game is just kind of difficult for the sake of it more than it is like actually adding a fun challenge. I think that there could be, and there's a second game, so I'm not gonna like say for sure that they didn't fix it.
Is it out already? I thought it was like in development.
So. It might be. I'm not sure. I didn't look into it. But they could have made those changes to make the combat feel more engaging. That's my major one. And then the other problem is like, so not even that big of a deal. I actually do like this game, like at the end of the day, like as like a concept and as an experience. I just think that the mechanics are not super good. So
yeah,
I also am cutting it a good amount of slack.
Yeah. No, I think I would agree with that. And like they always like kind of lean into that and like say a couple cheeky things like on the death screen. It's like it's about the journey, not the destination. Which feels like kind of like an admittance that it's like a little bit too hard.
Yeah, possibly.
Yeah, and like they could have tutorialized things a little bit better or had like a slower introduction of the different types of notes and things. But yeah, I don't know. There's like kind of a satisfaction, I guess, to like being thrown into the deep end if you're up for the challenge, I guess.
That's true. There were a few, like beating fucking Frog's Nightmare, whatever it's called. The pacifist boss was actually pretty satisfying to do in a way that, like, when I rag on difficulty, I generally tend to mostly pick out like fights that I thought were not fun, and also I felt like I needed to resort to like cheese or some other kind of like not fun thing to do in order to beat them. So like the Radon or the Melania fights in Elden Ring, I find unfun in a way that is not satisfying. And I found that learning the fight for the pacifist ending was kind of fun to do, and that at the end of it I did feel satisfied from beating it. So like there is merit to that, and I never thought that anything went like so long that it was untenable. So it does rein in a lot of those issues. I just think that it's like the base stuff is not as good as I would hope that it would be, I guess.
Right.
Sad place to start the episode, realistically, because there are a lot of things that are very good about it. Such as the music itself. Seems like a good place to begin with this game in specific, because it is like at least rhythm game adjacent. The music in this game it's a crazy like span of genres. There's a lot of different stuff here. I mean, it's all electronic music in like a very literal way, but it is it hits a lot of different tones, and it matches like the character designs and stuff really well. And I was just really satisfied with it all the way through. Like, I don't think there's a single song on the soundtrack that I was like, I hate this.
Right. Yeah, I like that it's like a little bit more psychedelic. I like that the game kind of leaned into that sort of aesthetic and sound. Because like based on like what the game looked like and like what I had heard about it, I kind of expected it to like the music to kind of like ape off of like Undertale. And I like that it actually had its own musical identity.
I agree. And I think that's really important, considering the other thing that I'm not a huge fan of with this game is that it did feel like it really wanted to be Undertale.
Yeah.
And then just in certain places was like, but we're like the opposite of Undertale.
Oh, yeah. Like, I don't know if I want to like say too much about it, because like we talked about this in the... was it Lies of P episode?
Probably.
Or no, the Lunacid episode, where they put in the Moonlight Great Sword, and I was like, don't do that. This game, I don't know if you were aware of this or you would remember this, but there's this character in Undertale called W.D. Gaster. Yeah, and like they just have that character in this game. Like the like little ghost guys that like are in that room, I guess they're like attempted incinerated denizens of the world. They just look like that character from Undertale, and I was just like, come on, man. You didn't need to do that, and your game would be better if you didn't do it.
Yeah, I pushed back on this when we talked about it in Lunacid, because I felt like in Lunacid, it felt like there was this like, there's a vibe to it. Right? There's a vibe of sort of like this mysteriousness, and I can 100% buy your distaste for it in that game. And at the same time, I also think that like there are certain homages that I think are all right, especially if they're like hidden well enough. This is the opposite for me. I'm just fully on board. They shouldn't have done it. It looks too similar. It's not acknowledged in the same way. So it doesn't feel like an homage in like the sense that just like putting the Moonlight Great Sword in your game is.
Right.
And it also just like, it is right on Front Street. It's part of the main quest. You see them multiple times.
Like like right inside the nightclub, which is right at the beginning. The guy that gives you the magic 8-ball.
Yeah, so it's really bad and it's not good. And it's obvious that like the art style and the fact that like the enemies that you fight become like your friends and you do quests for them and stuff is very much like within the same vein. It has the same sort of ethos. And then just at the end of it, it's like, but in this game, killing is good, actually. And the pacifist ending is the hard ending. And it even follows the same, like, route system where you, like, choose, like, oh, do I kill everyone or do I kill nobody? And if you go the pacifist route in this game, then it takes you to the super hard final boss. And that's how the genocide route ends in Undertale. So it is just like they're sort of like, we copied your homework but changed a couple of the answers.
Yeah, it's just like they copied the structure. I will say though that I agree that they did just kind of like take the structure of Undertale on note cards and then just change some things. But like I feel like my expectations were pretty successfully subverted though, because like I also got the pacifist ending, and like because like I thought the thing that the game was going for was like, oh, like we all want to die, please kill us, we're stuck in this infinite loop, we just want sweet release, please give it to us, you're the only one who can do it. And I was like, they're being so heavy-handed with this, like I'm going to be a pacifist and not kill anybody, and there will be a way to find a different way to solve the problem, and I'll be rewarded for not killing everybody, and followed that train of logic all the way to the end, just ignoring everyone's pleas for sweet murder, and was genuinely surprised when it was like the bad ending for going pacifist. So like I thought that was actually kind of effective, because it was like so... I just really did not expect that.
That's true. I had the same thought in the sense that, like, I was like, man, when everyone is screaming at me to murder them is like the exact thing that you do if you want me to not murder you. Like, for sure. Like, it gets in your head where you're just like, this cannot be the thing, and the game wants me to... This is just the effect of the Stanley Parable on games over the last 15 years, right? Like, eventually you get that, like, curdle where you've gone through games that now want to subvert your expectations as much as possible, that when you try and do it, and the game doesn't react in the way you expect, you're like, oh, shit, okay, wait, hold on. Let me think about this a little bit more. So I guess I do appreciate that to some degree. And like, I thought that the game post getting your arm back was more fun mechanically. Mm-hmm. So I liked that doing the kill everyone route does, have you engage with a lot of additional interesting fights. I was surprised at how many full fights are in this game, because it seems like there's a lot of work that goes into all of them. Presumably all the work that didn't go into making backgrounds for all of the areas that you walk around in, but I digress.
Right. I like the experimentation with like little mini games and like other like supplemental things, because like there's like the part where you're going to like one of the castles and you get on this like mine cart and you have to like move across the mine cart to like make it go. I was like, oh, that's like a fun spin on the mechanics. And then like the kart racing is less so, but it even uses like the lanes like the regular combat board, and I was like, oh, that's like kind of cool. Like I like the way that they like experimented with like different ways to use the like main setup.
Yeah, I love that it uses them in... It's okay, first of all, this feels like one of those episodes that we haven't had in a while where we're just going to both agree with all of the stuff that we're saying.
Yeah.
Because yes, to all of that. I love that it's minigames that use explicitly like the board mechanic. Mm-hmm. That the game, like everything is based around that style of movement and like play, and the fact that all of the minigames, like there aren't really many minigames that have you doing different stuff. that are completely off the wall, which have that tendency of being overdone in games that do it. I'm thinking of Wander Song and stuff like that, where, oh, now I'm doing this other new, more different thing, and like it's fun for a little bit, but then you get tired of it. This game like is really using every part of the buffalo, and like they have this thing that they worked on, and they were like, how many different ways can we use that? You cannot make the claim that this game does not innovate with like the mechanics that it came up with. So I'm a big fan of that stuff as well. And I liked I don't know if you were implying that you didn't like it, but I liked the kart racing thing.
Yeah,
I thought it was fun.
I didn't dislike it. I feel like it was a stretch to say it uses the same mechanic, but it like kind of does.
Yeah, a little bit. That's fair. But yeah, it has that like slot car style design. I thought it was pretty interesting. Or like maybe F-Zero kind of is what it's like.
Yeah, it's got that like Mode 7 kind of thing going on.
Yeah.
While we're talking about the kart race thing, what do you think about the run mechanic? Because that's introduced in the same area. And like you can do that little obstacle course or racetrack thing for the vampire character.
Right.
Like I just felt like it felt kind of awkward and buggy to control. Like you're just like double tap a direction, and it felt like sometimes it just didn't work.
I agree entirely. First of all, did you use a controller or did you use a keyboard?
I did both. I started mouse and key, or not mouse and keyboard, just keyboard, and then second time I played, I did controller, and I preferred controller. So that was most of my playthrough.
I hate this. I hate that that's what you did.
Because it's exactly what you did.
It's exactly the same thing that I did. I also preferred controller. The only thing I didn't prefer on controller was the running. I found it way more awkward for some reason. And I used like the D-pad and then the A button as like my controls for this game, because you can use like a bunch of different shit. You can use the other face buttons on the controller for movement. You can use the triggers for movement. It's like all just like auto mapped. It's very wild. But I use the D-pad, and like using the D-pad to run on an Xbox style controller is just more awkward than the keys for some reason.
I think
so I don't know if it was buggy or if it just sucks as a mechanic.
Yeah. Or like I think just like how it's like programmed is like feels like it's off in some way. I don't know enough about programming movements to get more specific than that. But yeah, even with I tried it with the keyboard as well to beat that little mini game, and it still felt like it just didn't work sometimes.
That's fair. Yeah, no, I also didn't like it. It's mostly in like changing direction, and then like sometimes you feel like you press the button like 11 times and it just never activates.
Yeah.
I don't know. Yeah, I'm interested in I'm not that interested, if I'm being very honest, but I'm kind of interested as to like what went wrong with that.
What we already kind of talked about, like how we think the game starts off really hard, but like, did you think the game like took a while to just like get going? Like, because I feel like I played it for like a sitting and got up to that Zig fight, which was really hard for me, and then beat it, and then was like, that's enough for tonight. Then I came back to it the second time and was like, kind of just like, this isn't really like. I felt like it took a while to click for me. I think it's like once I fell into the mushroom forest area, like after you do the cart mini game for the first time, like and you go to leave that area, you just like have an acid trip and you fall into the mushroom forest. Right. And I was like, that's when the game I was like, okay, like now I feel like this game's going. Like I felt like I settled into like what the game was. It just took a while to come into focus for me, I guess. I don't know. That's just a me thing.
No, I think you're kind of right. I think that especially like early on, up through the point where you have the encounter with Mr. Large Pig. I forget his name. Gold Pig. And get dropped into the incinerator. Like that, I think everything leading up to that felt It's weird. I forget we talked about this. I got to stop referring to things that we talked about in other episodes because we've done over 300 episodes at this point.
That's a lot of stuff to reference back to, though.
There's a lot of stuff we've already talked about. It's weird in this game that I feel like this game sort of puts its weakest foot forward. Like, the intro sequence, and to some extent it's necessary, right? Because, like, the mechanics are hard. Like, it's a hard game, and so you have to learn them, and so it takes time to get the player acclimated. But I think until after that, the gold pig encounter, like the first one, I felt like the game was kind of just like put me on a conveyor belt and like showed me a bunch of shit, and then like, and none of it was like related. I was on the Hall of Presidents at Epcot for a while, and I was like, when do I play the game? Like, everything just seems like, oh, that you do this, you do that, and people are shepherding you around, but I don't really feel like I have a purpose, and I don't think that there's much of like a through line to it. And then as you start to go through and start to like build like the character dialogue and get into different fights with different people and start to like solve puzzles and stuff, which I thought was a cool highlight of this game for me, that's when it really got into it. So I do agree that it took a while to get into, and it sucks because I do think that it's kind of being held back by the difficulty of the game. Maybe a smoother difficulty curve would make that a lot easier, but it felt like it took a while to like really click. But when it did click, I did play through like the majority of the game in one sitting. That first sitting that I played, I walked away going like, ooh, because I was excited for this game. And to be kind of disappointed from the start, but it did grow on me for sure.
I think that's a good way to think of it. Yeah, it's the slow start and then the difficulty. Like, I feel like if I was playing this just for fun, I would have bounced off of it.
Agreed. And it's also weird because, like, as we're not reviewers because we expect you to have played the game before having the discussion, but we are like,
do the homework.
Yeah, but we are critics, like in the very like technical sense. It's hard for me to say at that, like, would you like tell somebody else to play this game? And it's like, I don't know, because you have to be the kind of person who's willing to sort of like stomach the initial part if it doesn't click with you right away. Like, if you see the combat and go like, I love this, then yeah, sure, I'm sure it's like a home run. But I think if like both of us went into it with different levels of like experience and expectation for games like this, right? And neither of us came away going like, oh yeah, definitely great, super solid. Like it was a curve for both of us. So yeah, I don't know. It's unfortunate, really, because I would have bounced off of this as well if I had just like picked it up to vet it or something. Yeah. So agree with that point. The thing that I'm curious about, I guess, because I think the thing that the game wants to do in order to get you through that initial difficulty and like stay with the game is by introducing all of these characters and like the quirky Undertale style dialogue, which is unfair to call it that. It's just like comedy writing.
It's fair.
But it is obviously drawing inspiration from Undertale. I did not. There were a few characters here and there that I liked. I like the designs a lot. I think visually, I liked the way that this game looked. But I don't think that I was really won over by most of the characters in this game. In a way that I feel like you kind of would need to be, or at least not early on. I got there later, but also kind of on a bigger picture level. I don't know if you had the same experience with the NPCs.
I feel less strongly, or I don't know, maybe less specific about it. They were kind of just exactly what I kind of expected from this type of game. And I feel like I was like this with Undertale as well. Like I feel I was like one of the only people who played it and didn't absolutely love all the characters right away. It took
Well, you were busy suspecting them of being future betrayers.
Exactly. So yeah, having like a couple standouts and then like other like kind of set dressing-y characters felt like kind of what I would have expected. Like I like what Nosferatu. That's a silly joke, but I think it works. Zig kind of reminded me of Damien from Snowboard Kids, so I was into that. But yeah, then you have just like other supplemental characters like those janitor characters and stuff like that. And like I think like all the wizards were interesting. So yeah, I don't know. I just feel less strongly about it. It's just like what I would have expected from something like this.
Yeah, I think what we're falling into here is the reason why you shouldn't design your game to like aesthetically and visually look really close to a beloved piece of, of media that is in the same like genre, because Undertale is, well, this is, I think, the big difference. I think that Undertale's characters are really charming and really well written. Like I did come away with that. I don't have the same necessarily feeling that like the majority of people do, because I didn't spend as much time with Undertale, I think, as the people in like the community that have like made what is the lasting legacy of that game. But like, I mean, Sans is an obviously very iconic character, and Papyrus as well. Mm-hmm. All of those different characters in my first playthrough of Undertale felt like they made an impact on me. I wanted to see where things were going. Mm-hmm. And showed like, and had like an evolution, maybe not in their character, but like in the way that the importance that they play in the story over the course of it. And that never really happened here. And it fits thematically because they're like stagnating. They're people who have been alive for eternity. And your task is to kill them all to send them on to the next plane. That's the plot of this game. But because of that, I didn't feel like, I also was like, oh, Nosferatu is funny. Because it's like but it is just like kind of one joke. Mm-hmm. It's not like a character that I liked because of his personality. It's a character I liked because of his name and a pun.
Mm-hmm. And you get to play tennis with him?
You do get to play tennis with him. So I never really hit that like point, and I think that's part of why the opening of this game is so rough, is that I just don't feel like the characters meet the sort of standard that I was expecting because of the way that the game presented itself.
Yeah. I think the difference is like in Undertale, the major like bosses of the game are also the characters that you become friends with. Whereas in this, there's like the kind of small crew of characters that you become friends with, like Nosferatu, the lion guy, the knight, who isn't wearing any clothes except his helmet or whatever. Like those characters, they're like minor characters, but like those are the ones that you become friends with. And then like the main bosses are very like reclusive and like you barely talk to them at all. Like so I feel like it's like a different like way of like presenting the characters, or like it's just like a setup that just doesn't quite work as well, because like the more significant characters you don't spend as much time with, and the insignificant ones are the ones that you do. So
and the game implies that they're all
off.
like and I think the narrative doesn't give them the appropriate weight for them, because it's like the narrative is like, oh yeah, you know Zig, he's like one of your best friends, and it's like, really? Because we like had one fight and then we played Dungeons and Dragons, but he didn't really say or do anything during that whole chapter of the game. He may have shown up for like 10 seconds, etc. and so forth. It's like there are all these little vignettes that happen, and none of them really establish the characters as like something that you really want to latch onto. And some of them establish the characters in entirely different ways between different parts of the game. which I also think was a mistake. Like, I like the Dungeons and Dragons section, but I don't necessarily like the fact that they use the same characters in both, where you're like, oh, in the role-playing world, this person acts differently, and then when I find them somewhere else, it acts as a different character. It doesn't really make me feel closer to them or like they're a more important character to me. They feel interchangeable now because you've now used them in multiple ways. So I don't know. It was just like, to me, it just felt like it didn't quite hit until much later in the game. Like when you're actually killing them, I feel like it shifts a little bit. I think that they do a good job of incorporating the personalities that they were able to set up into the way that their fights play out. And so you have this like a harmony between gameplay and narrative that feels good, especially because it's incorporating everything, like the music and visuals play into it as well because of the way that the combat works. So I came to like them in a very sort of like mechanical, like utilitarian way, more so than like on an emotional level.
Mm-hmm.
But yeah, I think that also was kind of a slow. Everything about this game is a very slow ramp up. Maybe it means if I played Everhood 2, it would just start at the peak of Everhood 1. So maybe that's what I should do. I don't know.
Yeah. And there's the bit right before you fight Gold Pig and get like and before you get your arm back and it does the fake credit roll. Like you go through the blue door that you've just put together, and like it's like this cool section where you like walk down this really long road, and it's like then you like meet up with multiple of the characters along it. And it's like that's sort of a sequence. It's like it looks visually very cool, it's very atmospheric, but like it would hit a lot harder, if you were more attached to the characters at that point.
Yeah. Especially because the guy that you meet at the like the campfire,
the lion
on the
guy.
road, the lion guy, I feel like does not get a good enough like foothold into like where he's supposed to land in the narrative, because like he's like the main other character in the Dungeons and Dragons section, and when you come back as the Pink Wizard, I don't remember if they had a name or if they were just called Pink.
I think, yeah.
They like are the first ones to show up and be like, oh, like I need to stop you, like the White Wizard. That's, I guess they probably didn't call him that because he's not a member of the clan. But yeah, the lion guy shows up and is like, hey, like I have to stop you now. And I felt like I was like, I barely know your whole like anything about you. He just seems like a very reclusive character. So it was just, I don't know, I found the whole thing kind of I thought it had like kind of a difficult time setting them up. Oh, you're talking about the long road, right? I don't know if this is a great place to start the conversation that made me think of, but this game's visual style is, I mean, obviously it's taken a lot from the Undertale book of design. And also there's a lot taken from, I guess, just sort of like all the inspirations that led to that. Sort of an older, almost like Intellivision-y family computer kind of art style.
Yeah, Earthbound-esque.
But I think that like the detailed stuff, the characters, that road, like Midnight Town, those places are cool and I think really well designed, and everything else is extremely sparse. And I actually kind of like that. I think there are a few areas where it doesn't serve what the game wants you to do. Like it's like like when you're trying to find everybody to kill everyone, it's really annoying to show up in an area that just has like a couple of scratches on the ground to indicate a pathway. But I did like the mood that it struck, like when you're in like a black void with a couple of scratches on the ground to indicate a pathway during the main gameplay part of it.
Right. Yeah, no, I agree. The visual style definitely works with certain areas more than others. Like I mentioned, I called out the mushroom forest as like my favorite like area, I think, because it really works for that. Like you're like it feels like this mysterious dark. And yeah, and it adds to that like psychedelic angle that they have going on, where it's like these like bright colors and this like black void, man.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, there are parts where it shines. Yeah, and then I think other parts where it doesn't really work super well. But yeah, like overall, I think it is cool. Like it did, and yeah, like it is. A lot of the game does take strong cues from Undertale, but like it does have its own identity, and I think it does enough with the visuals to make it stand up.
Yeah, I mean, I think the thing that maybe the elephant in the room when it comes to visuals, but maybe not. I guess it depends on who you're asking. Is the fact that they do fuck around with your visuals a lot during the actual fights. There will be times when, like I mean, did you fight the brown mushroom?
Yeah.
Yeah, that like it puts it on a sphere like that fucking MC Escher painting.
Yeah.
And it's like wrapped around, and then you like go around. And then the final fight obviously is also crazy because you like it changes it a lot as like quote unquote reality is being destroyed. So there's all of this like, which I guess isn't technically the final fight because you do fight Buddha at the end, which is kind of wild. You kill God as you do in all video games. Truly a heinous godless medium. And I suspected that I would find that to be like horrendous and a thing that I hated about this game. But for some reason, it just like felt okay here. Like I think they did a good job of like balancing around it where they could do the fun stuff visually without making it impossible to play. So I actually was really happy with it. I thought that stuff was super cool. And it was a good way of you, like you said, like it has this sort of psychedelic aesthetic. Obviously in the mushroom forest, they're going for that in like a certain way, but they're able to use it in all of the different areas where they do to represent things happening in like an interesting visual way that affects the gameplay. It's a good way of sort of merging the tone and the aesthetic and the gameplay and everything together. And I did really like that stuff.
Yeah. Surprise, surprise. I agree. Yeah, I kind of wish they would have done it more often, but I feel like it probably feels as cool as it does because they did it sparingly. So I'm not sure on that one, but like, yeah, the parts where they like made it more trippy, yeah, like they made the actual stuff coming at you simpler, so like it wasn't like impossible, like you said. So yeah, I think they threaded that needle pretty well. Yeah, like it was really cool, especially when the brown mushroom was the first time I think I encountered something like that, and it just goes so off the rails with it that I was like, this is fucking awesome.
Yeah. Yeah, and the effects in that one are really cool. I like, because it is like, there are kind of like, I don't want to call them like simple effects, because I don't really think that's a good way of describing it. They're more like familiar effects, which I think made it easier to like, like in the mushroom fight, it does do like the spherical thing, but then it'll like reverse your controls, and it's like, okay, this is a thing that's happened to me in every game that I played for the last 30 years.
Yeah.
So like it was a lot of stuff that felt manageable for that reason, and I think it ends up working really well.
Yep, it feels very Elephants on Parade from Dumbo. Very surreal.
Did you have, speaking of Elephants on Parade,
pink elephants on parade?
Right. Did you have a favorite song or enemy fight in this game?
I liked the music. I don't know if I could like pick out one specific one. I like the frog songs, I guess, because it definitely leaned into that like MIDI guitar sound effect, which I thought was really effective. Like the visual of him on like with the hat and the guitar, it's a strong one, and I think that sound effect of the guitar notes adds to that. So that's probably my answer. For favorite song would be ones from him. But do I have a favorite fight? I feel like I should, but nothing's coming to mind.
It happens. I kind of have mine is like a 2-in-1 situation where it's like I think that the fight and music go really well. The I don't remember the character's name. It does have a name. I'm 100% sure, but I can't remember. But it's like the orange, the guy who's like the mad scientist.
Yeah.
He has like a Frankenstein's monster.
Oh yeah,
guy.
Isn't its name Grundle?
It might be Grundle, unfortunately.
I think that is what his name is. Yeah, he has like the stompy.
He does the stompy moves.
Yeah.
Yeah. I really liked that fight because of that. It also has a bit of a Metallica 1 syndrome where it's really boring at the beginning and then it goes crazy in the middle, but it's a pretty short segment. I thought that sounded great, and I really liked the visuals and like the way that they differentiate it. Like I felt like a very clean representation of like how the gameplay sort of like is translated from the music to how it looks. And I did like that a lot. And I do like to piggyback. I like both of the frog tutorial songs. Mm-hmm. I love though that it's also like there through the fire and the flames, like during the final fight with him. Yeah. And that's like the one that goes crazy is like him, and he's got like the halo of guitars swirling around him. It's very funny and also just like pretty good also. So though it was a tough fight, I'll say. That was obviously the one that took me the most tries.
Right.
So I did want to also shout that out. So just so that every one of the frog songs has its own, it's noted.
Did you do the one, the secret boss for collecting all the gems?
No, I missed a gem, I think is what my problem was.
Yeah, like you fight, essentially, it's like the creators of the game. It's like these two guys that represent them, and it just goes on infinitely if you don't kill them. So you're doing a pacifist run, you just can't beat it. And you'll look that up, and you'll be disappointed you put forth the effort to get to it. Just in that fight, there was a part where like the music was like dur, 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 you know, and then like their like character models like had like kind of Rayman hands that were just like floating, and they would like where they'd swing to the beat of the music. I was like, I really like that sort of thing in rhythm games where like the dynamic motion matches the music like that. So that stands out in my head. I liked that song.
That's good. I would have to look that one up. The fight was
satisfying, but it does just go forever. So,
right. Well, unless you kill them, I suppose.
Yeah, I guess. Yeah.
Unless you're a murderer. I do. That just a little. I liked a lot of the little details in this game, but I will say there weren't like that many of them. It wasn't. This isn't a game that's like rife with little secrets and stuff. Like I said, most of the game takes place in a black void. There is a character that's like a rat who just like shows up in certain areas that you have to find off screen, which is kind of funny. But I was just going to mention the fact that you can kill the lampposts, like your save spots.
Oh, yeah.
I like that. That's a nice touch. I never did it because I'm a coward. But I do appreciate that it's there. I like that everything that can be talked to can also be murdered. I think it fits well within like the world of the game.
I feel like that introduced like a nice little bit of tension. Like after you get that option, it shows up every time you talk to somebody, and like even though you have to consciously highlight interact or kill, I just kept like that in the back of my head. I was like, oh, I hope I don't accidentally hit kill one time.
Right. Do we have
frog thoughts?
Frog wearing a hat thoughts? I think we've already done frog thoughts.
Yeah. My frog wearing a hat thoughts, which makes it very different from frog thoughts.
Don't get me started.
I think I came down positive on this in the end. But I do feel like It is a bit too slow to start. Yeah, like I think you described it as it puts its worst foot forward, and I do think that is unfortunately kind of true. And it is kind of off-puttingly difficult at the beginning, or at least it was for me. Yeah, and as we said earlier, I think that leads to a game that I would have bounced off of if I was just playing it for fun. But that is one of the benefits of the podcast, because I did stick it out and play it all the way through. And I did enjoy it. Like I think for what it is, like this short indie game, like I like that it's experimental. Even though it is very derivative of Undertale, it does feel like its own unique thing in the end. And yeah, it was fun to learn the system. Like I think it was like satisfying because it's like one of those gameplay systems like you have to kind of acclimate your brain to. So I think those are like satisfying to learn and to get towards the end of the game and be doing crazy shit. If you look back on in like a month, you're like, how did I do that sort of thing? So it scratches that kind of an itch. And yeah, like the trippy, surreal visuals, like the kind of more black voids and the neon colors created like a pretty cool atmosphere. And yeah, even though like the characters didn't quite hit, as much as maybe they should have for this type of game, I feel like I would be interested to play in Everhood 2, and like because I think the world is intriguing. So yeah, like a cool little indie game. I think whenever I found this game, I immediately put it on the list because it just seems like a home run sort of thing for us. So it didn't hit quite as hard as I expected it to, but it still was good overall.
I feel like, so this might be the one part of this that we might have a slight different opinion on, in that I think we early in the podcast, we kind of described it as we cut the game a little slack for being what is like essentially a very low budget game made by a small team, doing a lot of experimental things, particularly in the combat. I think is like, it is a unique take on things, especially, or it's a unique take on the like adventure game style where your combat is just a different genre of game entirely. Mm-hmm. Where, you know, you go through and like the music's really good. I think the art style is really good. But I think in the end, I kind of just end up a little bit kind of middling on this game. More than anything else, I wanted to like this more than I did, and I think that there's like a level of disappointment that is preventing me from saying that I'm like very positive on it. I'm positive on the things that I'm very positive about the things that I like, but I'm like held back a good bit by the stuff that I don't. I think it's a little weak narratively. I think that it is weak mechanically. But I like the designs. I like the music. I like the vibes. The vibes are worth a lot in this day and age. Mm-hmm. So it's like, would I play Everhood 2? That's a great question that I don't know if I'll ever know the answer to, because I don't have a lot of time to just pick stuff up on my own. Maybe we'll do it for the podcast in like a year or something, and we'll revisit this thought on it. Which, if nothing else, it makes this kind of interesting. It's definitely an interesting game. And if you are interested in sort of like how to make or how games incorporate like music and gameplay, I think this is a great example of it. I think that the visuals and the way that the tracks are laid out and them using the track in multiple different contexts is generally successful. And so I think that could be a good enough reason to look into the game. But like, if you're just looking for like a good fun time, I feel like there's there are better ones out there. I'm just like not super hot on this, I'll say. Not implying that you were, but like mm-hmm. I think there's like probably a 1 point difference in our opinion here.
Right.
Thank you for listening to Describing the Skybox this week.
What's going to be happening next time?
Next time, it's time for the Skybox Awards. The Scribe skers.
The boxies.
Oh wait, the boxers? Is that something? Is that funny? Like the Oscars?
Yeah.
I don't know why I thought that was the part you didn't get.
I know, I get it. I'm just chewing it over.
Yeah, no. Yeah,
I think I like that. I feel like that's dumb. I feel like that's dumb in a way that I like.
We could also go with the scribies, or
Nah, I don't hate that either.
But you think maybe boxers is better?
Maybe.
What about just the boskers? That loses all meaning.
The boxers.
The boxers. Like underwear.
Yeah. I feel like scribies is probably the way to go.
You going with the scribies?
Yeah.
I'm okay with it. I think because it incorporates the very popular fan name that we have for the scribes. You
right.
know? So next time we're doing our annual award. Are you unhappy with the number of awards that Claire Obscure won in the Game Awards? Then come see this or listen. Come use your ears to listen to the Scribies, where we didn't even fucking play that game.
Not yet.
Yeah. Wait until the 2025 Scribies, 2026 Scribies, where Claire Obscure will sweep the whole one again. Relive your trauma from 2025 next year. This is altogether too much talk about this. We're doing an award show next week, or next time. I'm not sure when it's going to be. Early 2026. Date pending. I don't know. Where we're going to be talking about, we have categories. Some of them are good categories that make sense. Other categories don't. And we will be choosing games amongst the games that we talked about on the podcast this year, to fill in as nominations for those categories. And then we'll have JJ decide which is the best option. So we hope that you'll join us for that. And even more than I hope you'll join us for that, I hope you'll join us in recommending a game for Fandruary, which will be the next thing coming up. Get in suggestions. Put them in the comments. Put them in the Discord. Put them in an email. But get us some games that you want to see us play. And hear us play.
Yeah. Tired of us never playing anything that you like? Now's your chance to fix that.
I love the imaginary person who listens to every episode and is like, fuck, I hate these games. Why do they never talk about anything cool? Well, let us know what's cool. Until that time, you can get a hold of us. All of our contact information is on our website at describingtheskybox.com or on splattershot.pro. There you can find links to our Discord, where you can give us suggestions for Fandruary, our YouTube channel, where you can leave comments on videos giving us suggestions for Fandruary, and you can listen to all of our old episodes, including ones that we did on Darkest Dungeon for Fandruary this year. Undertale a million years ago.
Yeah, Deltarune, Earthbound. Or at least Deltarune Part 1. We never did any of the other parts.
If we were like this would be like the biggest scandal on our channel if we were like a bigger creator. People would be like, they did branding for it.
They called it Part 1.
They called it Part. What happened?
I mean, it came out and I played it, and you never did.
I didn't play it. It is kind of my fault. Let it be known. I take at least 80% of the responsibility that we haven't done it yet. Maybe try to. Hey, it'd be a great Fandruary suggestion.
Deltarune Part 2.
Do Deltarune Part 2 and 3 finally. fucking jump roll out of the way of that like button. But don't do it right, so that you instead smash into that like button.
Drive a golf cart or a go-kart against all the other people in the comment section.
And subscribe to a pacifist philosophy in which you have to participate in Mortal Kombat against a frog. Subscribe. Goodbye.
Trip on a bunch of mushrooms in the comment section. All right.
Okay.
Da-da-da-da-da.
Put them in a hot dog bun and I'm probably not including the Mad Dog discussion, so I'll cut that part out.
Uh-huh.